Songwriting tips don't help. They feel good, but they're mostly a waste of your time. Hey, we all love songwriting tips. You get a jolt of endorphins and you feel like you learned something. But let's be honest, songwriting tips are the junk food of songwriting. You can try to fill up on them, but you end up feeling empty. If you want to build songwriting muscles, you need protein, songwriting advice with actual substance. Think about it. Of the dozens or hundreds of songwriting tips you've read about in blogs, books, and magazines or watched on YouTube, how many did you actually try? Be honest. And how many actually worked for you? Right. Is that the best use of your time? Songwriting tips are fun. Let's say you're on YouTube and you binge watch songwriting tips videos. You get an endorphin rush and you feel good about being a songwriter, but you're passively sitting, imagining being a songwriter without doing any work to earn it. You're afraid of missing out on some magic bullet solution for songwriting that will help you write that 1 in a million hit that will bring you fame and fortune. You're dreaming. Let's be honest for a minute. Most songwriting tips sound great when you hear them. When you try them out, either it's something you can already do, or you try it and it makes no sense. It doesn't really work for you. The truth is, most songwriters write from their musical intuition, subconsciously making musical decisions. But until you've developed those intuitions, you can't depend on them. Because they can't explain songwriting in a way that you can copy them, they tell you write from the heart or some other great sounding but meaningless saying. Listen, a songwriting tip is a little piece of the puzzle, but songs aren't little pieces. They're a big puzzle and you need more than one piece to solve it. To get from the first inspiration to a finished song, there are countless of steps as you decide what to write about, craft a story, and create an emotional journey. Then you write the lyrics, melodies, chord progressions, and arrangement. Then edit it and improve your first draft so eventually you end up with a finished song you're satisfied with. Make sense so far? You don't need songwriting tips. What you actually need is a songwriting process. All the steps. Now, if you've written more than a few songs, you already have some kind of songwriting process. The trick is finding ways to improve your songwriting process so that you write better songs faster. Still with me? Good, because half the people still watching have skipped through parts of this video. You're already ahead of most other songwriters. Now, there can be some value in songwriting tips, but only if you make them work for you. Understand there's no magic solution. When it comes to songwriting tips, you need to remember it, try it, and then fit it into your songwriting process. So when you come across an interesting tip, advice, or songwriting quotes, write them down in your songwriting notebook. Just writing it down will help you remember to apply it later. Then, you need to actually try it out a few times to discover if it's helpful. So, remember it, try it, and then integrate it into your songwriting process. If you want to take it to the next level, start getting proactive. Take some time to write about your usual songwriting process. Where do you usually get inspiration? What do you do next? Do you write the lyrics and then add a melody, or write the melody first? There's no right or wrong, just jot down the steps that you usually take as you write songs. The next level or step is to identify where you could improve your songwriting process. Are there bottlenecks where your writing slows down? Do you have failure points where you often abandon songs? How could you streamline your songwriting process to finish songs faster? What songwriting skills do you need to improve? For example, are your rhymes too predictable? Are your melodies not memorable enough? Do you have weaknesses in your instrumental or vocal skills that are limiting your songwriting? Are there weaknesses in your music theory or songwriting knowledge that you need to develop? How could you create time to write more often? And how could you make your writing time more productive? Be honest with yourself and you can identify where you can improve. Then you can stop searching for generic songwriting tips and look for specific advice to help you improve your songwriting process and the songs that you write. Instead of searching randomly, you can take control and build on what you already know. Now keep in mind, creating a songwriting process takes time and experimentation. Songwriting is experimenting. Some experiments or songs fail. Write a draft of your song and improve it. Don't try to write a final draft on the first try. That's a great way that will block you up. The fastest way to improve your songwriting is to finish songs, not just mess around with songwriting tips. Finish your songs even when they don't seem to be the best ever. Does that make sense? Good. Like this video if you learned something, and check out this playlist for more songwriting videos. Thanks for watching. I'm Trevor Dimhoff. I transform musicians into songwriters at epicsongwriting.com. Now, go figure out your songwriting strengths and weaknesses and use them to write and finish songs.